I'm Anil Kumar, and in this video we will basically understand the division statement. The division statement is dividend equals to divisor times quotient plus remainder, right? We are given this question as for f of x equals to x minus 2 times x squared plus 2x minus 3 plus 5, identify divisor, identify the quotient, identify the remainder, determine the dividend, which normally is the function f of x, find the closest multiple of f of x, right? So this video will help you understand all these concepts, and then we'll move forward with more division of polynomials. So let's understand the division statement once again. So what we have is kind of a long division, right? So in this division statement, the term which is inside, which we normally call the dividend, right? So the dividend is the term which is the f of x, the function itself, and it is the function which is being divided by the divisor, right? So this is called the dividend and also referred to as the function itself. Okay, now here we have the divisor, right? And on top you get the quotient. And when you do the process of division, at the end what you get is the remainder, right? Degree of remainder will always be lesser than degree of divisor, right? Because if it is more, you can further divide, correct? So that is how the situation is. Now, when we have a statement like this, it really means that the number 5 is the remainder here, right? So this number 5 is the remainder for us. And this is the quotient, that's the divisor, right? Let's compare with this. Divisor, quotient, remainder. Divisor is x minus 2. The divisor is x minus 2. The quotient here is x squared plus 2x minus 3. So that is kind of the situation. Now from this you can clearly answer all the questions, right? Now when we say identify divisor, then clearly the divisor is the linear divisor, right? So the linear term here, which is x minus 2, is the divisor, right? That is the divisor. Identify the quotient, which is quadratic in this case. The quotient is x squared plus 2x minus 3. Remainder is plus 5. And we need to find the dividend, the function itself. To find function, you need to do this polynomial operation of multiplication and addition, right? So f of x will be, so let's do it. We'll expand this, right? So we have x minus 2 times x squared plus 2x minus 3 plus 5. So when you expand, first you multiply by x all the terms. So in that trinomial, you'll get 3 terms. So we could write them as x cubed plus 2x squared minus 3x. Now we need to do the same operation with minus 2, right? So 3 more terms, so we'll get 6 terms. With minus 2, remember to write negative sign, okay? Minus 2x squared minus 2 times 2 is minus 4, minus 4x. Minus minus becomes plus with 3 times 2 is 6. Now we have plus 5, so let's add 5 to it, right? So that becomes the polynomial. Let's combine the like terms, which gives us x cubed. X squared terms 2x squared minus 2x squared is 0, so we'll forget about it. X terms minus 7x, we have minus 7x. And then the constants, we have 6 plus 5 as 11, right? So that is the function itself. So the function here is x cubed minus 7x plus 11. Do you get it? Okay. So we have done part D. So this is part D for us. Part E is very interesting. It says find the closest multiple of f of x. Closest multiple of, I should say, okay, closest multiple of x minus 2, I should say, I'm sorry. Closest multiple of f, closest to, it should be closest to f of x, but a multiple of x minus 2. Well, you can clearly see from here that x minus 2 is not a factor of f of x, since we got a remainder, which is 5, correct? Now, if I'm looking for another function which is multiple of x minus 2, let me write down here correctly what we're trying to find. We are trying to find multiple of x minus 2 closest to f of x. So there is a typing error there. So let me write multiple of x minus 2 closest to f of x. That is what I really mean. Okay. Now we know that f of x is not a multiple of x minus 2 since the remainder is not 0, correct? So what could be the function g of x, which is multiple of x of 2? So if I take away 5 from here, I get my result. You get the idea. So g of x should really be x cubed minus 7x plus 11 minus 5. Well, that is clearly the quotient itself, which is x squared. Okay, so the closest multiple will be, closest function, which is multiple of x minus 2, will be x cubed minus 7x, okay, 7x, and when you take away from 11 5, you get 6, this function, right? So plus 6. So that is what you get, right? So this is the closest one which you get to this operation, correct? Now as an exercise, what you can do is, I hope you understand that process. So when you divide this by x minus 2, you'll not get remainder because we have already taken away that remainder, right? And written a function up to this place. You get the idea. So that is my g of x. That is the factor of x minus 2, right? So that times this is the closest multiple, right? And the next multiple should be what? The next multiple should be, one more times this, right? So we'll get to that next time. Anyway, so here what you've got really is we have understood the concept that whenever there is a remainder, then the function is not a multiple of the divisor, or divisor is not a factor of the function. You get the idea, right? So that's what we're trying to do. Now what you can do is, as an exercise, your question is divide x cubed minus 7x plus 11 by x minus 2, right? Do this operation and check the results on your own. That is kind of interesting. Remember, when we have missing terms, you need to introduce zeros for the missing terms and then divide. So that will be a good exercise for you to do. I hope it really helps. Thank you and all the best.